All right, Assalamu alaikum, sir. Saqib, how are you?
I'm fine.
That's wonderful. So, sir, tell us about yourself, about your education, and what do you do?
Um, I did PhD from the University of the Punjab, and my PhD thesis is on the topic of religious extremism and terrorism in Pakistan. And I am a student of a political science and have some views about the reasons of religious extremism and terrorism in Pakistan. Okay.
Okay, that's good. So, the extremism in Islam and terrorism in Pakistan, is there any connection in between these two things?
Yes, it has a strong correlation between the religious extremism and terrorism in Pakistan because the ideological causes that played a vital role for the promotion of the religious extremism in Pakistan that leads towards the terrorism in Pakistan. If we see the scenario of 1979, there are some external causes that lift the Pakistan into the uh, mainstream religious extremism of the Pakistan. This Afghan war of 1979, Kashmir issue, and the weaponization of the Pakistani society, the establishment of the madrasas in Pakistan, and the promotion of one religious ideology, that is the Wahhabism, that that links towards the jihadis and the interpretation of the religious notions, that played a vital role for the promotion of a jihad in Pakistani society. And after the 9/11, the war on terrorism, the all religious ideologies turned into terrorist ideologies. Even the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Taliban and the other some banned organizations have strong link with the religious ideology. They are working for the promotion of the Islam, which they said that these are the pure and the Islamic teachings that they want to enforce in the state of Pakistan. If Pakistan state is unable to enforce these ideologies, they wage a unended war against the Pakistani army, against the Pakistani institutions. So they have a strong link between the religious extremism with terrorism, especially in the case of a Pakistan.
All right, all right. And what do you see, like, if we talk about the terrorism in a bit extensive way, how do you see what are the key elements of the terrorism in Pakistan?
Key element in terrorism of Pakistan. One is the ideological causes. Second is the wrong, yeah, interpretation of the ulmas, which they suited for their own political interest. Because in Pakistan, all religious political parties, they use religion for their own self-interest. So religion is the root cause for to gain the support of the masses, to gain the support of the public for their own political interest. So use and misuse of a religion in the politics of Pakistan is the key element for promotion of a terrorism in Pakistan. And the other some causes which are associated, that is some external causes, some are the internal causes, and there are the different models that explain the why terrorism exists in Pakistan, what are the root causes of the terrorism in Pakistan. Even some author enlist it, that is the ideological reason, psychological reason, political reasons, economic reason, sociological reasons, etc.
Just as you were mentioning that because of the like political interest of these Islamic scholars, they are taking us toward this terrorism. What are those political interests that they have?
They wanted to reach the door of the corridors of the power through the use of a religion, because they have no any other suited slogans to that will promote their their backwardness to the mainstream of the politics of the Pakistan. So this is a easy way to reach the corridor of the powers through the slogans of the Islam. For example, we have many religious scholars. They have no any type of a any type of a agenda for the governance of the citizens of the state of Pakistan. They use only religion, that if they got power, they will establish the two Sharia rule. They will establish the rule according to the Quran and Sunnah. So first thing is that Pakistan is not a homogeneous society. It is a heterogeneous society where people belongs to different sects, and people have their own way about the practice of the Islam. So for ulamas, it is a easy task to mold religion according to their own way, and they preach Islam with the amalgamation of the politics, and wanted to reach the corridors of power through the use of the religion. This is the unfortunate story of the Pakistan, that all political parties use religion, and the religious political parties only wanted to gain political power through the use of a religion. If we have many examples of the bad governance in Pakistan, leadership crisis, deficiency of the rule of law, corruption, etc. But no religious political party explained that why Pakistan have the crisis of the rule of law, why Pakistan is not giving capital punishment to the murderers, to the rapists, etc. They use only religion to reach the corridor of the path.
That's true. All right. So just as you're saying that this all is happening, that they are using Islam to get the political authorities. How can we eliminate this thing, and how can we actually understand the meaning of true Islamic leadership and apply that into our political, political perspective?
To eliminate the uh, Islamist ideologies in the politics of Pakistan, to eliminate the Islamist ideologies in the politics of Pakistan, first we have to establish a pure political system that is based uh, on the political values and the political culture of the citizens of the state, not on the base of their religion. First, we have to liberate our ideologies from the clutches of the militant Islam, that no one use or misuse religion for their own self-interest of the self-interest. No politician use and misuse religion for their own self-interest.
But
We have to liberate Islam from the clutches of the militant ideologies, and the state should ban the use of a religion in politics, because we have a population that belongs to a 98% in number wise religion, Islam. So within the Islam, different sects are practicing their own way of life, that according to the sect that the people are practicing. So it is the responsibility of the state that uh, it gives only the impression that or and the politician and the elites and the people who wanted to reach the corridor of the power, to reach the corridor of the power is only to manifest and to explain the agenda of their politics through the solvation of the problems of the Pakistani citizens, not the the slogans of the religions. The religious leader talk about why Pakistan have continuously in a phase of a crisis.
Hmm.
1947 to 2020 or 2021, no phase is that Pakistan is a stable state where the citizens are led their lives happily. We are living in a continuously in a state of a crisis.
Hmm.
Either is a economic crisis, social crisis, political crisis, etc.
Hmm.
And these crises are continuously worsening the situation of the Pakistan.
Hmm.
No, Pakistan is a state where the rule of law is highly in a alarming situation.
Hmm.
Even the police force is just a disciplinary force in Pakistan. This is a to some extent a sweeping statement that Pakistani police is just a disciplinary force. It is not enough to prevent the crimes and to give evidence and to submit the evidence uh, to the Pakistani courts for the punishments of the culprits.
Hmm.
So nobody is ready to talk about what is the real issues of the Pakistani citizens. Why
Hmm.
Pakistan is continuously suffering with so many internal and external problems.
True.
Everyone is explaining that why Pakistan is not a purely Islamic state.
Hmm.
If we have a power, then the true Sharia will be implemented in the state of Pakistan.
Hmm.
But Sharia is not for the citizens of the Pakistan. We have the problem is the bad governance, but
Hmm.
no one is explaining it with some root causes of the bad governance. Why Pakistan is suffering with alarming situations. Our city development index, our air index, our education system, our health system, our administrative system, all are highly uh, uh, enveloped with the massive corruption.
Hmm.
Corruption is become the uh, mother of all ills in Pakistan. In
Hmm.
other countries, it usually formed the nuisance. Here, it has become the menace.
Hmm.
And the corrupt country is not a democratic country, and a corrupt country is not a good governed country, and a corrupt country is not a terrorist free country.
Hmm.
In every year, uh, uh, the the index of corruption is to be ranked high in Pakistan.
Hmm.
So if we study any system of the Pakistan, either is the judiciary, either is the military, either is the government, parliament, education system, all are highly fractured with the evils of the corruption.
Hmm.
But nobody is ready to talk about the crisis of the Pakistan.
What do
Everyone
you think, Saqib? What do you think? Why?
is high is hiding a shelter on
Hmm.
the religion.
Hmm. Saqib, why do you think nobody wants to talk about that? I mean, just as you're mentioning, we have a poor governance, we have the misconception of the Sharia of Islam, we have the poor police system, and so many things. The whole country, every single citizen is suffering from so many things, from different dilemmas, the way you were mentioning, financial, economical, psychological, and so many more. Why nobody wants to talk about that? And how exactly are we gonna solve these issues? What is the baby step? How can we start making positive changes? What exactly and who exactly has to take the initiative? Is it the government? Is it the public? Is it the authorities? Who are those people who have to take the initiative? And how exactly are we going to walk towards the solution?
The solution is lies behind the true leadership or to the leaders of the Pakistan. But unfortunately, Pakistani leaders are not free in decision making, and the capacity and the capability of the Pakistani leaders is highly questionable. They are not be able to take decisions freely and on the basis of the merit. So this is the escape system, that you are taking escape from all the problems of the Pakistan on the shelter of the Islam, and to give good governance to the citizens of the Pakistan, to address the Sharia issues and to talk about the implementation of the Islam, rather to talk about the real problems of the citizens of the state. So it is just an escapism, um, to divert the attention of the citizens of the state on the issues of the governance, and lead it towards the other other issues that are not directly or indirectly related to the issues of the governance. If a
Hmm.
person is not obeying the Sharia rule, it doesn't affect the governance. But if the state is not administratively working on the basis of the merit system, it affects the whole society. And
Hmm.
our justice system is collapsed, our police system is collapsed, and we have many problems that are very lethal, and Pakistani state is unable to resolve these problems.
Hmm.
We have a cyber terrorism, we have a cyber crimes, even we have a 4G internet technology, but
Hmm.
we have no mechanism to control the 4G crimes
Hmm.
that are happening on the internet. So awareness about crimes is very common in the Pakistan, but
Hmm.
there is no mechanism to control these crimes. This is the real issue. Pakistanis are not the exceptional citizens, that if we have a Sharia rule that nobody commits crime on the fear of Allah Almighty. We
Hmm.
are citizens like the other countries,
Hmm.
and the many peoples unfortunately label them the most corrupt people in
Hmm.
the Pakistani state.
Hmm. True.
So we need a leadership that is free in decision making, that takes responsibility, that how to administer the citizens of the state, and and to enforce the writ of the state.
Hmm. Good. So, in your perspective, a true leadership is the
Okay,
answer.
I
Hmm.
finish my point.
Yeah, yeah. Hello? 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 Hello, Sakib, you there?
Farhan, I am not listening you.
Yeah, something went wrong. I believe like we have some internet problem today. I totally listened to your answer, and after that, something went wrong. Okay, shall we move on?
I am not listening you.
What's the matter? Hold on, let me check it again. Hello? My
Ji ji.
mic is
Hello.
working perfectly
Now I
at
am
my side.
listening.
Yeah, okay. All right, Sakib. So you believe that the leadership, a true leadership, strong leadership is the solution that Pakistan is going to get out of all these problems. So, are we? I mean, do we have the good leadership now?
To some extent, we have elites that are working the for the betterment of the citizens of the state, but
Hmm.
these elites are not free. They
Hmm.
have a strong external and the internal pressure. Even the some institutions are
Hmm.
more strong as compared to our government.
Hmm.
To limitize the institutions that are creating hurdles for the proper functioning of the government, and the
Hmm.
government is not taking responsibilities serious. Government
Sacrificing.
state.
Hmm. Hmm.
These are the multifaceted problems. The other begins. We are now in a state of a vicious circle that
Hmm.
every part of the state is highly uh, engraved with some crisis and with some problems. It should begins with the independence of the institutions, and to uh, and to highlight the proper check and balance system,
Hmm.
that every institution should be camerized, and their all working should be recorded, and to some extent the every every action of the government should be transparent to the people of the Pakistan, and there are the certain reforms that is the need of the time, in terms of the politics, in terms of the society, in terms of the government institutions. So the only to uh, only to our powers are to better the one institution. It may
Hmm.
not affect properly.
Hmm.
We need to introduce reform in every institution of the state. We should first focus on the rule of the law,
Hmm.
security of the state, from internal to external security. We
Hmm.
have to limit our institutions in the constitutional boundaries that the constitutional lays, that these are the powers that are to be shared by these institutions.
Hmm.
Then we have to to uh, aware the duties of the citizens, and the rights of the citizens that the state is bound to give them. The first thing is that the security. If we
Hmm.
read the social contracts in political science, Hobbes contract, or the Rousseau contract, John Locke contracts.
Hmm.
These all are contracts for the security of the individual,
Hmm.
and know the situation is Pakistan is highly uh, um, to some extent pathetic, that no one
Hmm.
is secured in the state of a Pakistan.
Hmm.
So it is alarming situation then, that the existence of the state is based on the security of the citizen, and Pakistan state is to unable to provide security to the citizens of the state. Every
Hmm.
citizen feels insecure in the state of Pakistan because of the terrorism, because of religious extremism, because of
Hmm.
sectarianism, because of the social and the political conflicts among the citizens of the state, and the to some extent the ethnic diversity that sometimes worsen the situation. So the state first of all provide the security to the citizens of the state through the betterment of the rule of law situation of the state. Second is the punishment system. The capital punishment is almost extinct in the state of Pakistan since 2000 or earlier, that Pakistan is not giving capital punishment to the culprits. Only in terrorist culprits may have capital punishment. The other heinous crimes like the murders, rapes, kidnappings, abductions, etc., have no capital punishment. So Pakistan first have to revise the capital punishment and fully enforced it in the state of Pakistan. So the crime rate would be decreased due to the implementations of the rule of law, and the
And every
people feel
citizen will feel free.
security in
Yeah.
the state of Pakistan.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's a good solution that we need to revise all these rules, and we should have a good leadership and a free leadership, and government should be taking decisions whatever they want to take instead of like whatever is happening. Okay, Saqib, how do you see the future of terrorism and cyber terrorism in Pakistan?
Future of cyber terrorism in
Yeah.
Pakistan. Um, it should increase in developing countries and continuously increased in future, because Pakistan have not signed any Kyoto Protocol to limitize the cyber terrorism. Even we have no such type of a control mechanism that uh, we limitize the gene of a cyber technology. Cyber technology is overwhelmingly uh, increasing. The users of cyber technology is increasing every day, and we have information about the different apps and about different medias, etc. But the state have no mechanism to control these apps. So we have a 4G. We have the facility of the 4G WhatsApp technology, but we have no mechanism to control to trace the 4G WhatsApp calls. So our security agencies are unable to 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 trace the uh, cyber culprits that use the different dummies and the different fakes accounts, etc. Even first, if we have studies the online radicalizations, there are the hundreds and thousands the Facebook pages, Twitter accounts, etc., that are continuously promoting online radicalization amongst the youth of the citizens of the Pakistan. Same, the people are involved in high treason crimes like breach of the national security of the Pakistan. Even the involved in murders. They are using the 4G internet, and the Pakistani security agencies are not able to trace them because because they have no controlling cyber mechanism. So it is a devastation for the Pakistani state that it has introduced the technology uh, without noticing the consequences and repercussions for the state of the Pakistan. So in future, cyber terrorism may be increased in the state of Pakistan, because Pakistan have no mechanism to control to control such technology. We don't have a cyber banks that we limitize the every cyber act in the state of Pakistan. We
Hmm.
have example of the different countries like China. China is not allowing its citizens to use such cyber apps that have no control on the Chinese government,
Hmm.
and the Pakistan's giving all facilities to the citizens of this state without noticing that
Where is
Pakistan
the-
is not be able to control such technology.
Hmm.
So it has a great chance to increase the cyber terrorism in the state of Pakistan in future.
And this is actually an alarming situation. Well, Saqib, thank you so very much for your time and every single thing that you have shared today. That was actually worth listening to. And you, people like you who really have the vision, who really understand the problem, I really wish that people should listen to this thing and they should do at least their own part in making this nation, making our country strong and what we deserve actually. So thank you so very much.